All right, a new bipartisan report out today from the Council on Foreign Relations. The topic, U.S. economic security and strategic competition in emerging technologies. Joining us right now is former Commerce Secretary in the Biden administration, Gina Raimondo. She co-chairs the task force in charge of that report. And Secretary, thank you for being with us. Watching Washington these days, it's hard to think of anything being done in a bipartisan manner. But what were the conclusions that your report reached?
Good morning, guys. It's great to see you and be with you. You know, the good news is that economic security and winning the tech race against China is still bipartisan. That was true when we did the CHIPS Act, and it is still true today. So the primary conclusion of the report is that in order to win and outcompete China and keep Americans safe and secure, we really need to lead in AI, quantum, and biotechnology. And that means everything from staying ahead, innovating faster than China, but also securing our supply chains, making sure that, for example, for biotechnology, we have to make enough and invent enough medicines in the United States. And these are three areas where China is obsessively focused. The PRC has increased its investment in biotech by 400x. in the past 10 years. So if we want to win, which we do, which is bipartisan, we have to up our game.
Where do things like exports controls for semiconductors fit in that narrative? Because there are some people who say the way we win against them is to not give them any access to any of those chips, and it's a national security issue as well. There are those within the industry who say, wait a second, if you don't supply some level of chips, even if it's not the latest and the greatest, we will no longer be the global standard and we will fall behind that way. Where do you come down on that?
I come down on offense. You know, you do need defense. We should deny China our most sophisticated technology and do it with our allies. National security can't be compromised. It's not for sale. But at the end of the day, trying to win by holding China back, I believe, won't work. We have to out-innovate. We have to accelerate. And we have to have much more secure supply chains than we do today in all three areas. That is the way to win. You know, we have to lean into our American system, right? America has the deepest capital markets, the best innovation flywheel, a risk-taking culture, fantastic colleges and universities. Let's lean into that, and that's how we win.
In terms of what you're seeing, whether we're falling behind or not, what's the answer? What did the report conclude? When it comes to AI, when it comes to things like rare earth minerals, I mean, that's been a game changer.
It is a game changer. I mean, there are some concerning signs. We can win. Let me say that. We can win. Best country in the world. But critical minerals. You know, things like copper and lithium, other metals, rare earths, we are dangerously dependent on China. We need to come up with a holistic strategy for the whole system, mining, processing, manufacturing, maybe not all in America, but with our allies. Biotechnology, I think if the average American understood how reliant we are on China, not just for, Tylenol and penicillin, but for really advanced medicines, and how much of our contract manufacturing is done in China, it doesn't look good, Becky. And so we have to do more in the U.S. We recommend setting up a system of biotech hubs around the country, but also let's rely on Korea, let's rely on Europe to secure the American supply of medicine.
Are targeted tariffs for things like medicines and pharmaceuticals the right way? Because the president has said you're going to face very high tariffs if you manufacture outside the United States. If you manufacture within, you're going to pass on it. And some of the biotech companies and pharma companies like a Pfizer seem to be kind of playing along with that and increasing the manufacturing here in the United States as a result.
Listen, I have always thought there's a place for targeted tariffs, targeted being the key word. I mean, I think blanket tariffs just raise prices for consumers. The question is it something we can make in America, or will the tariffs just increase prices for everybody? But what I would really say is tariffs are one tool And one of the things that I learned in government that the report highlights, the U.S. government has a whole toolbox of tools. You know, DoD could do procurement. We have to increase our stockpiles. I think we have to do more to incentivize the private sector to make investments. Like with the CHIPS Act, for example, for every dollar of taxpayer money, we crowded in $10 of private sector money. That's the special sauce of America. So I think that's what we have to do more of.